Hello everyone, welcome to today's streams, which is L.I.L's journaling, and today we are going to be doing my November challenge spread, which is based on NaNoWRIMO, which is how you say the rest of my title. I know that looks complicated, but that's what it's called, NaNoWRIMO. And so that's what we'll be doing today. If you guys want more bullet journaling content, check out my Instagram. If you want to watch more streams, check out my YouTube channel. Both of them are also L.I.L's journaling and stuff, so be sure to check those out. And then this coming Saturday, which is, what day is, what's the number of that day? Let me look that up real quick. This coming Saturday, the 29th, which is the Saturday before Halloween, we will be doing my November reading journal spread. But today, it's November challenge spread. So let's get into it. Also, before we do, I want to show off this mug. You guys can't see it well, but it says Morning Pumpkin on it, and it's so cute. And I have Voodoo Mountain Dew in it because that's going to keep me awake right now. But let's get into it. So I got my normal bullet journal today to put this challenge in. You guys are going to get a lovely peek at my November theme because you've joined stream, so lucky you. It's very exciting. I'm very happy about this theme. So this, let's go to it. So this theme is my quilting theme. So if you guys have watched my streams in the past, why is this like this? Okay. Thank you, Sid. So if you watched some of my streams in the past, one of the things I really love doing is, well, I need to adjust this, one sec. There we go. My streams in the past, that's where we're at. I've done a couple cards, and one of the main things I do with these cards is I give them this quilt design, so I kind of do all these lovely patterns and stuff. So November's theme is going to be this quilting design. I'm obsessed with the color palette, and I've been doing different quilt designs for each of the pages. So here is my color palette itself. So it's got a good variety. So we got some King Arts that are these basic colors that I use mostly throughout the spreads. And these are more for line art and writing stuff down. So I have an Archer and Olive acrylograph. This is from the Amanda H. Lee collection, and it is the rustic brown. And then I have this burgundy Sharpie and stuff. So this is my color palette. And then I just kind of have some Happy Planner stickers to go along with it. Today I'm using stickers from the Colorful Boxes sticker pack for today's theme. And then I have my ruler. I have this cute little like skull eraser. Voila, my pencil, a Sharpie pen, and then a normal pen just in case. So that's the materials we're going to be using today if you guys want to create along with me, or like you watch it now and then create it later in the future. But yeah, so let's get into it. Now, behind my cover page, I've used some Sharpie so it bled through, so I'm using these two pages as like future project pages. And so this will be the first one. So we're going to erase this. Actually, let's use my schoolboy because I brought him for a reason. Okay. And I think my plan is to use both of these pages because this is a big challenge spread. So let me tell you what NaNoWRIMO is. NaNoWRIMO stands for National Novel Writing Month. So Nan, National, No, Novel, Ri, Writing, Mo, Month. So that's what it stands for. And it takes place in the month of November every year. So they have this whole website, which I will link in the chat. Once I can. So let's pop that there. And the whole point for NaNoWRIMO is that you spend the whole month trying to write a novel. And they have this little thing where you write this many words each day, and by the end of the month, you should have a 50,000 word novel. Crazy. Exciting. But the whole point is to get you to write it and get like this project out of the way. So I've done it a couple years in the past. And I was like, I want to do another challenge this month because I didn't do one in October, and like my challenges kind of push me to do more things. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to do a lovely challenge. Now the way we're going to do this challenge is going to be a little complicated. Way we're going to do the spread setup is going to be complicated because I have to focus really hard on it. But this challenge is also going to be really difficult because you do have to write like 1,300 words a day in order to reach this goal. And their website, if you sign up, you can kind of put in the story you're doing, you can announce it, and you can like put in the words you've written and stuff, and it can like make a little chart to keep track for you. But I like doing physical spreads and stuff, so that's what we're doing. And with this specific quilt pattern we're gonna do for this spread, it's gonna be like, so like on this one we had all just these going this way, but for this one we're gonna go like it's gonna like, we're just gonna do the four corners until it like comes in together and kind of does a weird rose design. I'm experimenting with this like background itself, so we'll see how it goes, and then we'll use the boxes to kind of indicate the day. So here's a sneak peek. This is one of my weeks in my monthly, and so I did the quilt pattern behind it, and we're going to kind of do the same one, just angle it a little bit, and then I put these boxes on top for each of the days. So that's what we're going to do with today's spread. And it's going to be really difficult, and I'm scared to do it, but we're going to give it a shot. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do some mathy maths. So I'm going to start 7 of like boxes in, and that's going to be my first angle. Because I'm going to do a little bit inwards so I can kind of get used to the pattern before I do the outwards angles and stuff. So let's do this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We're going to make this too wide, because then it'll be a little bit easier. So this spread does require a lot of like color switching. I will say that. So just be prepared, guys. So we'll do this green first, and then we'll do a teal, and we'll do a teal in this corner. We're going to do a lot of spinning with this spread as well. Okay. We'll get this nice base established, pattern, and then we'll get into chatting. And I started like November's theme like at the beginning of this week, which is a little early for me because usually I wouldn't start it until like today when it comes to my November stuff. But I decided to start it early because I wanted to do this quilt spread, and I figured it would take like forever because it requires lots of pattern making and making sure that like you can see not only the quilt pattern but also the like layouts and stuff. So it's been fun and crazy and difficult, and I did like a checkered pattern the other day and I got so tired of it really fast. but I have had fun because it's just like giving me time to just sit down, be creative for long periods of time. Because like there's some themes I do and I'm like done instantly. And so I'm happy to give myself a challenge this month when it comes to the theme I'm creating. I'm going to twist this so you guys can hear me better. And like one thing I like love about this theme specifically is that like it has such cool designs in it and patterns that like as I go through it, I've just like I've had so many different like real ideas or ways to show it off because these are like perfectly time-lapseable spreads. Because you're watching like for a long period of time as I like do detail after detail until the whole thing finally is able to come together. So, we got all our first 4 corners done. And the reason I'm not using like these 2 yet is because one, the Sharpie bleeds through. And then this one is really annoying to color stuff in with. So these are more of like my line art and stuff, so you guys get a speed. So like this is all outlined in the brown stuff, this brown marker, or like if I had these boxes here, since it's a sticker, so it's like extra thick, I use this to write in. But yeah, you guys are getting a great sneak peek at my November stuff, so I hope you guys appreciate it. So we're going to just keep going in order of the corners, but as we get to like, now that we're on this corner, we are going to start with the second color this time. So that's how this is going to work. I'm just going to go like that. And then we'll just continue on with the pattern. So, let's get into fun chatting and stuff. So, first off, I want to talk about like why I want to do this challenge for November. I've done it in the past, it's been pretty fun, but I've never like actually completed it. I've never done the full 50,000 words stuff. And I'm like kind of frustrated at myself for it because I'm like, I want to complete it. I've gone like close a couple times, I think. I would have to like look up my statistics exactly, but I've never actually completed it and it makes me so sad. So I want to complete it this year and like get it done, make it look great and stuff. So, but I also know that when it comes to writing, I love writing, I like writing stories, but I am a strong short story writer. Like I've like dabbled in like trying to write a couple novels or like working on them, and I have some that could like become novels for sure. However, my strengths lie in short stories and making them really fun and entertaining and like giving you everything you need for the story in a very short amount of time. So that's kind of where I dabble in. And so my main goal here with this month is, instead of writing a whole novel, I want to like work on my short stories specifically. So I've kind of been going through my writing recently, and there's some that I need to like completely rewrite, so I might do some of those. Or I have some ideas for a short story collection. I've just like haven't ran the other stories in the collection. I've ran like just one for it. So I want to like work on that as well. So we'll see how that goes. What did I do wrong? Oh no! This was supposed to be light green. Whatever. Okay, that was supposed to be light green, but I made a mistake, and that's on me. Whatever. Okay. Mistakes happen. This is just how it be. Anyway. So I think with this challenge, I want to make sure that I'm like still writing a lot. I want to get all like my word count in and like get my like 1,300 words a day and stuff. But I want to do it like in the way that works for me. So I want to write short stories and stuff every day. Looks more fallish as an olive/darker green. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Yeah. With this like color palette, the main thing I'm kind of going for is like, these are transitioning fall colors. That's what I would call them. Because you have like, here's the other colors if you join late, Josh. Or Joe Pen. But like, we got some colors that you like would see on the trees as they change colors, and like this nice kind of coldish looking teal. So it's like we're going from fall into winter, and that's kind of what November is. It does have that fall vibe, but it is also going into winter, especially where I live. Anyway. So yeah. That's why I picked this palette. But back to NaNoWRIMO, as I was talking about, and stuff. So with it, I want to kind of focus on myself writing, write some short stories, make some collections, because I have some ideas. I just haven't been like putting myself in a position to write as much, and I want to write more. So hopefully November will help. NaNoWRIMO will help with that in this challenge. The other thing I want to do is like get some editing in. And I'm thinking of like, if I edit something, I may like if I edit like 1,000-word piece, or like 2,000 word, because that's about the average of my length of stories. If I edit something that's like 2,000 words, I will count that towards NaNoWRIMO, because I have a lot of pieces that I'm like, this is essentially like ready to be published. It's just I haven't done it yet, or like I haven't given the proper editing it needs. So that I'm making this challenge my own, and I think it's totally okay to take a challenge that like a lot of people are doing and turn it into something of your own, or turning it into something that like fits your needs, because writing a novel isn't realistic for me, and it wouldn't be realistic for a poem writer, but it's still a fun challenge to do. So, or like if there's an exercise challenge and it's like, do all these exercises every day, and you just like can't really do it, you can like you can't do all of them, or you're not at that level of doing like that many reps for like push-ups or whatever, you can like change it to fit your needs and stuff. So okay. I got it. So technically that's supposed to be light green, and this should be the dark green, but I'm going to make this the light green. And then, yeah. And then we'll be chill. So that's my take on this challenge. So, next thing I want to talk about is last week I mentioned reading the Winter's Promise series. I'm pretty sure last weekend I was in the middle of the second book, or I was nearing the end of it. And I finished it, I think that night. Like last Saturday night was when I finished the second book. And then this week I have finished the third book already. And so now I'm on the fourth book, which is the final one in the series. Long story short, this is like a fantasy world. Has a crazy way of doing magic. Basically, you live on a specific like arc is what they call it, but it's like their countries or whatever. And on this arc, some people are born with magic, some aren't, but your magic is attributed to the immortal that lives on the arc and is like meant to take care of it and keep the arc running and all that jazz. So our main character is on one arc, and she's forced to marry a guy on a different arc. It's an arranged marriage thing. Really cute. And like his arc is completely different from hers. They have different powers, and like it's a really good fantasy series. Great world building, great like character development. I love it so much, and I am obsessed with the romance because essentially the couple is, you have Thorn, the guy who is like, he's tall, he's brutish, he has a bunch of scars on him, he can be a little aggressive, and he's a neat freak and like keeps things very organized. He's very smart as well. And then you have Ophelia, which part of her power is like influencing objects to act for themselves. So that creates some messes of its own. And she's also is like cursed to be clumsy all the time. And so they don't really pair the best together because they're like that. And like there's so many times where she like tries to help him with something and like ends up ruining it. And he has to clean up her mess and stuff. So that's the couple. They're really cute though because like the guy falls for her very quickly. There will be some spoilers ahead, very light, but they will exist, by the way. So like he kind of falls for her first. And like she'll go to him and she'll be like, "Guess what? Guess how bad I messed up. This guy wants to kill me." And then he's like, "Cool, I'll kill him first." And like he'll like protect her and stuff like that. It's really cute. I love their relationship. I love them so much. So that's how it is with them. And they're cute and I love them and it's amazing. Hold up. Yeah, I'm ahead on this one. We're gonna hold off. We're gonna skip here. I'm making mistakes, guys. It's okay. This is where we're at. Anyway, they're a really cute couple. They're complete opposites. She makes all sorts of mistakes and then he's just trying to fix it. and they're really cute together. But like, essentially, we're like, oh yes, they're finally getting together, it's getting really cute, they're falling for one another, and then they like separate them for like a really long time. And it pisses me off because like in the first two books, you barely get like them getting together. Like, I relish every chapter I get with them because there's like 5 chapters where they're together and they're talking. And it makes me so frustrated because I'm like, I just want to see them be cute together and interact because I love them as characters. But the author keeps like either separating them or like only having them meet each other once and like only in a position where they have to like help one another every once in a while. So that makes me very frustrated with this book. But it's still good. And as I'm nearing the end, I'm getting into the state that I always get when I've near the end of a book or a series, is that I don't want to finish it. And I'll go like a day or two without touching the book because I don't want it to be over. I want to keep living these characters' crazy lives and seeing what they're doing and going through. And I want to get more moments like with like either the characters I love or where the couples like together. But then like I also want, but to do that, I like would need to finish the book, but I also don't because I want more. I know I would want more after the book. And then there's also the struggle of I want to know what happens because everything's getting intense and I want to like have it resolved so the characters can be happy together again. But also based on the way this book is going, I don't see a good resolution in sight because okay, one thing I really like about this author is like because the main character is like meant to be clumsy and like she causes like literally everything to go wrong around her. It goes along like with the book well. Like there's always so much that goes wrong. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong in this book. And so I do like that that theme is there and like it's always shifting on your feet. Like it's slow in some places of the book, but things are always changing and becoming different that it's like you don't have to worry too much, but everything will go wrong and like it stresses me out. Like the minute the characters are like happy and together and you're like, yes, the world is like not doing so hot, but they're together finally. Like the author's like, nope, we gotta try and take her away immediately. Like they just got together. They just kissed for the first time. Like, let me have this. Make it last longer than like a page. So that one makes me sad. Okay. Now, I will say, with this pattern will probably just continue downwards, like this way, and you could like just keep doing with this pattern. However, it would overshadow this one, so that's why I'm going like around in the corners because these will eventually overlap one another and like cross a bit, so we still need them, like we still need to go around in the pattern. But you can tell which color you're going to use next because it'll just be the same pattern for each of these now. Okay. We're going to go like that. So, I realize that in picking 7, I've picked an odd number to start on. So, there's 3 boxes here in the middle. That is my own mistake, so I'm going to do 1.5 boxes in so that both of them have space for like a final stream, a final row. And then we'll continue with like the 2. This is where things get tricky. This whole theme has stressed me out because like it's so pattern based and it's experimental, a lot of these patterns. So, yeah. But I'm gonna just go with the flow because bullet journaling will always be messy. difficult. And when it's difficult, I feel like it's more fun for me, at least, because I get more time to create and figure out how things work. And I get to try new things. Like lettering was super difficult last week, but boy was it fun. And now I'm like a little bit more confident in like learning lettering and stuff, so. Okay. This is where I messed up. So we're gonna do this nice lighter green because that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. Ooh, I know. So this week, I did a good couple fun things. One thing I did was I made focaccia bread. I don't know its exact origin. It's probably Italian. It sounds Italian. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I made some focaccia bread. Oh heck. Hold up, let me think. Okay. Before we get into focaccia bread. So now that these are overlapping, this is going to be my main side that makes sense. And since this is the corner that goes first, it will overshadow this one every time. So luckily these dots are like perfectly straight already, so yeah. Okay. That is why we must continue things in order, so this side will always overlap this side, technically. Anyway, back to focaccia. I made that this week. I was very nervous to make it because it seemed like such a complicated bread. And like I've kind of struggled with some breads because like if you don't get the dough just right, it will won't taste as good. So I was stressed about it. But then focaccia bread is like really a whole lot easier to make than you think. Italiano. Yes. Okay, thank you, Joe Pen. It's like way easier than you think it is. It's a very, at least the recipe I chose, like the dough is easy to make, and it may just be that I'm a little bit more practiced in using dough, but it was really freaking easy. And I was very happy that it turned out very well. Anyway, so I made that this week. The only thing that was difficult with it is you need a lot, and I mean a lot of olive oil. I was going through the recipe and it's go back and get more. Go get more olive oil. Do this. Now coat it in more olive oil. You thought you were done. It needs more oil. It was so much. And then it also took a while to prove because I started at midday and I was oh, based on my experience, my poor experience with breads, I was I can get this done, proved and ready in a very short amount of time. No, it technically I could have taken a whole 2 days to get this bread to rise properly. So, but I didn't. Instead, I did the shortest amount of time, and it still proved well. It got bigger than I thought it would, and it was it was fun because like I've seen TikToks and videos where people like they're making focaccia and they like put their fingers in it and it like jiggles a lot. And I was like, ooh, I hope that happens to mine. And it did, and it was very fun. And it was like just a nice big fluffy dough. And then it baked really well. Oh, I was so happy with how it baked. Because like the top of it was like super crispy and like kind of crunchy, like a good crust. And then like the inside and bottom was like perfectly proved. And it was fluffy and it was soft and light and it was so good. So it was really freaking good. And my husband loved it too, which is great because he must love all of my cooking. Otherwise, I'll fight him. So that was amazing. So it was delicious, and I didn't make homemade ravioli, but we had it with some ravioli, so it was amazing. Or at least I did. I don't think my husband has had it with ravioli yet, but I did, and it was delicious. The only thing I will say is like because of the oil it requires, the bottom of it is going to be like the very like bottom layer is a little like soggy, and that just may be like an error on my end so far because it was just too oily because like all the excess oil seeped into the dough and now there's all this excess just on the bottom of it. So that was the main issue I had. With the bread. Sorry guys, you couldn't see. Okay. And then I didn't do not necessarily baking this week, but I did more cooking in the sense that we did a candy apple date this week. So my husband and I did a double date. There's an apple orchard on my college, at our college, so I was like, oh, we'll go there, we'll pick apples, and then we'll decorate them, and we'll make it a double date. We go to the apple orchard. I guess it was too late in the season, so there were like no apples on any of the trees. If they were like falling bad, or they had bites taken out of them by bugs and or holes or whatever. So we like searched the whole place, and there was like no apples. We found one apple. It was like this big, like that big, and it was like it didn't really look like it was done growing. So we're like, probably not. It was the only apple available, and it wasn't even in the best condition, so we didn't grab it. But so that's what happened with us. And so instead, and our double date like met us after we had like searched the whole place for apples, like at the orchard. And so we're like, hey, there are no apples. So we wandered the orchard a bit, just kind of like enjoying it because it was like getting a little chilly outside. There was the sunset and all the colors were in like, all the trees had their fall leaves out. It was adorable. If you guys were on my Instagram and saw the stream announcement, the background image was from the apple orchard and stuff. So we're like, guess we can't get apples. So my husband and I, we ran to the store to buy some apples while the other couple like would meet us at our house. And then I quickly melted all the caramel and we decorated our apples. The only issue is like we had enough caramel just because my bowl it was in was like a little too big. It wasn't like I could dip the apple like all the way in and pull it out. It just, we couldn't get it to coat the top very well. So that was an issue, but we didn't care. It was still fun to decorate them. And then we also had to like figure out how to get the sticks to stay in the apples and stuff. But we eventually got it. And then a couple weeks ago, my dad came into town and we made chocolate ghosts, and I had some candy left over from that. So I used that to decorate the apple. Like the apples and stuff. And then my husband tried to use sprinkles, but they were like the very small thin ones. That were essentially like bits of sugar, and they just kind of melted into the caramel. But, and we haven't eaten our caramel apples yet though. I should do that today because they're kind of just sitting in our fridge and we need to eat them before the apples go bad. I'll do that today. And then I had some leftover caramel, so I sprayed a pan down. Hold up. Whatever. I sprayed a pan down and I poured all the caramel into it, the excess, and then I put like some pretzels and some candy bits in it to try and make a bark. But it hasn't really hardened, even though I've like left it in the freezer for like a day or two. So I might just still snack on it and eat it. I don't know where I went wrong, why it isn't hardening. If you guys have made it before, let me know if there's like things I missed. Because the caramel's like, it's still like a little gooey. And then, so the apple picking and the making of caramel apples was on my fall bucket list. So I had to kind of cancel out the apple picking because I don't think any other place has apples that I knew of nearby, so that's a thing that I won't be able to complete. I tried. And then so I crossed off that. I crossed off the making candy apples, and then I also crossed off matching with my husband, which I was very excited to do. We have checkered black flannel thingies, and so we both wore that. And then we had gone to McDonald's this week, and we got our Halloween buckets from the kids' meals, and both of us got like the McBoo, so it's just white and black, and it matched our jackets very well. We were going to use them to put candy apples in, but the apples we picked in, but it didn't work out. But we look so freaking cute, so that was a major plus. And I was able to check that off my fall bucket list, and I liked that feeling a lot, being like matchy-matchy with him. And then, so I got those checked off, and then another item on my bucket list is to like dress up and go to like a Halloween party of some sorts. But then for me, I'm like the friend that plans the parties usually. So I am the one planning a party for Halloween, and my friend and I went shopping for it today. And the party is essentially going to be is we are going to have a cupcake decorating contest and watch Halloween Town. Both of those are also on my bucket list, so I'm happy to get those. And so I'm excited to do that. we bought a bunch of like sprinkles and stuff, and then not tomorrow, but the next Sunday, I'm gonna spend like the whole day like baking cupcakes and making frosting, so we will have supplies needed for it. And then we'll have the party that evening. And yeah, I'm excited to do that. I have really enjoyed the fall bucket list thus far because it's made, I guess, fall more of a season, or made it feel more like fall, because last year, like, I didn't really have decorations. I was so focused on school and stuff. I know I threw a Halloween party last year, but it's just like I was just so focused on other things that like I didn't get to enjoy fall as much, and I didn't get to do as many fall activities. So I was very happy to have this semester where I can just do all the fall things, and it's great and it's wonderful, and it's just putting me in the mood for fall and like getting me nice and in the cozy season vibe. I love it. So I really like this bucket list idea. I don't know if I'll do a separate bucket list for Christmas because it would just be because Christmas kind of takes place just like end of November into December for me, so I don't think I'll do a bucket list then. But I do love Jashi Corinne's 101 things to do before the end of the year, so I will probably make a spread, likely on stream, for that in the future. So I will definitely be doing that, and I'm excited too. And I guess on the 101 bucket list, I may put some items that go to specific seasons, or like, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I may do like a specific show watching bucket list or books to read and stuff. Who knows? I know for sure. College book, this color. I will want to do, I know in my like reading journal, I will do like a TBR of like a physical TBR, and then like books that are coming out or that I've just been wanting to read. Guys, I've been working on next year's reading journal already, and I'm so excited for it because I've done not all of it, but I've done some of it already. I worked on it not this past week, but the week before. And then I think I have a stream planned where we'll work on it together. And I like the theme for it already. I'm very happy with how it's turned out and stuff. So I'm excited for that. I've also been really, because like I was very nervous about this upcoming year because, or like these past couple days, not last week, maybe last week, I don't know. But I was nervous because I hadn't thought out my November theme yet. I didn't have a, yearly reading journal theme. And I know I'll have to come up with a yearly bullet journal theme because I have a journal just for yearly projects and stuff and goals. And I was so nervous because I'm like, oh, I gotta think of all these themes, and I gotta make sure I have markers that will last throughout the whole year, and I don't know, like, if I'll have stickers to go with this theme, or if I'll just have or if I'll just have just some washi tape. So I was very nervous, but then I was like happy because I had this like art journal coloring page I did for funsies because I was bored, and that coloring page sparked November's color palette. So I got that, and then I was like, I just wanted to do quilting theme, and that kind of goes with November's like cozy vibe. So I like that. And one thing about my November themes that is very important to me is November is my birthday month. And I always want to make my November theme like my favorite theme of the year. I wanted to make, in the past, I've usually made it like November has my favorite colors in the theme, or I use my favorite stickers and stationery in my theme. November must be like my favorite. And so I'm very happy that I have like, in my mind, this is a perfect palette and theme for November, and I'm so freaking excited. So this is going to be good. November's going to be a good month. And I also have family visiting November, which I'm excited about. Gonna bully my little brother because he's visiting. And then my mom's coming for Thanksgiving, which is great. I'm excited to see her again. And that type of thing. And then when it came to going back to the whole thing of being stressed about themes, I don't remember exactly how I chose my yearly reading journal theme for 2023, but I know I kind of still went with like these darker versions of colors, and I think they were like the primary colors with a green, and then I have gold washi tape to accent it. And I'm very excited to see it. It makes more sense. What just fell? Hello? I know something fell. I felt it. I don't know. Something fell. But I can't figure out what. We'll find it later. Doesn't look like I'm missing anything too important. Anyway. But I'm happy with my yearly reading journal theme. But now I have the issue of my my yearly journaling bullet journal theme. So my yearly journal, it has all my goals and stuff in it, so I can track them, and it has if I make some spreads that I want to last a while, or like I'll come back later to, like some of the spreads we do on stream end up in my yearly journal because they're not necessarily ones I need for that month specifically. So I was like, okay. No, I don't want this color. I need this one. So I was like, I'm still deciding on the theme for it. I like this past year's theme because I was like, I have no idea how to describe it. It's like, it was a very modern looking theme, like very marbly and stuff. Modern with like a hint of like Greek aesthetic. I don't know. That's its vibe. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway. And I have a sticker pack that goes perfectly with this theme. So like if I need stickers, I can pull them out and it's great. But I want to make sure I have a sticker pack to go with this theme next year. But I don't really have, because most of my sticker packs are just happy planner ones. I have one that's like, it has a sticker page for like every month of the year, and they're all just themed around that month and the holidays in it. So those ones I don't really use as much. And then I also got a Halloween sticker pack, which is a gift from Jopet. Thank you so much. And like, it's Halloween based, so I can't use that as a yearly theme unless I really wanted to. But I want to like, but my other sticker packs, most of them are like I have one that's like just colorful boxes, and like that's its whole purpose. Or I have a flower one, but it has like flowers. I like using the flowers like differently because some of them will, like, if I have a theme, sometimes the flowers fit in really well and sometimes they don't. I do have flowers fit in well with, I have some flowers that fit well with this theme. Anyway, so I've been kind of struggling because I'm like, I want a good sticker pack that I could use like for the whole year that goes with the theme I pick. I just don't have that sticker pack yet, and I don't know what theme I want to do. So what I think I may wait for is, since my birthday's coming up and I've put some sticker packs on my Amazon wish list, and I'm going to tell my family members, I'm like, hey, you should buy me this or that, hint at it or whatever. Maybe they'll get me one and I'll be like, ah yes, this is a theme for next year or something. So we'll see how that goes. I'll wait a bit. But I've been a little nervous because I don't want to start my yearly like goal planning and setting up next year's yearly journal or setting up next year's reading journal too early. But I also don't want to do it too late so that I'm like running out of time. So I've been in the planning stage a lot with those things. And making sure they're set up and ready. Like, I have my first pages of my reading journal set up. I have the list of pages that I want to make at least. And I've set up, I think, like a couple of them already. And now that I think about it, because, you know, there's Christmas plans and I'll be busy with family and stuff, so I won't always have the time to bullet journal. Is that, like, I need to not only set up my yearly journal, reading journal, and then my yearly goals journal, I also need to set up my monthly spreads for my reading journal and my goals journal and stuff. And then I also know that I have, what is it? I have a couple journals that I'm like, they're coming to the end. And I don't know, like, I'm debating, like, okay, I may have to, like, reset up this one and move this over and stuff. So I've been a little worried about some things. But I think if I, like, get started now, I should be able to finish everything in time. Like, I will probably make my January spread at the beginning of December. Because that is what I will have time for. Guys, this looks so cute. And it's coming together so well. I hope you guys like this theme because I have been obsessed with it. And I like doing the patterns. Like, the patterns have been very soothing because, like, I'll just put on someone else's bullet journaling stream. Jessie Crane does them every once in a while on YouTube, and I, like, save them. Or I'll put on, like, Sabrina the Teenage Witch because I've been binging that lately. And it's on my bucket list to finish it. And so I'll just put it on, and it'll be, like, nice background noise, good vibes, while I just sit and, like, color and decorate and make things look really freaking cute. So I've had so much fun with that. I'm so excited because we're getting closer to the part of the spread where these will start converging in on one another and making a very cool design. So, or at least I think they'll make a cool design. So we're getting there, guys. Slowly but surely. hope you guys aren't getting dizzy with all this journal turning. But turning is a must. One thing I have adopted as I begun my 2023 reading journal is not really giving pages titles, because I suck at making titles and it takes up some space that I need, because some of these spreads I'm like, okay, I need this space to do this or to do that, so I haven't been really making titles so that it doesn't take up too much space in the journal. And the journal I'm using for my 2023 reading journal setup is an Amanda Rachel basic dot grid and stuff. So I've been very excited about that. And then, if you guys are keeping up with Amanda Rachel, great bullet journaler. She hasn't posted as much because her life's kind of been going crazy, which I'm glad she's able to take a break that she needs and will still support her and stuff. But she is currently posting out her themes for her 2023 doodle planner, and they're cute and exciting. I love the idea of the doodle planner. It looks cute, and I would love to just sit there and color it in. Since I spend so much time, I just want to color it in. I don't want to use it as a planner. I just want it for coloring purposes. And I already make my own bullet journal planners and stuff. I just want to color in because it looks so freaking fun to color. Golly gee, I need to decide on which side I'm using on my marker. So it's I've been tempted to buy it, but I just don't, because I know it's I will not use it the right way. I could use it as a maybe daily journal or a way to write about gratitude and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think so. And I already have I have a journal that could be used as a gratitude journal already. And then on top of that, I have 2 journals that could be used as gratitude journals, so I've been having to I want to use one for 2023. I just haven't decided yet. And I also don't know how much I like the idea of it as a gratitude journal. I know it'd be great if I use a gratitude journal more, and it's probably something I should be doing. But I also am a little lazy, and I also don't want to overflood my habit tracker and lists, having to do 20 different my habit tracker. Not my habit tracker. At one point I tried doing a weekly, what's it called? It was, what is it? It was a weekly routines spread. and I did a little practice with it, and I didn't like it because there were so many things on the routine that I tried to focus on and get done that like it would distract me from my to-do list, and I wouldn't always get stuff done. And so I don't want my habit tracker to become that, but I also need my habit tracker because I'm forgetful as all get out. So that's fun. Okay. So now that we're like at the edge of the paper, this is how this is gonna work, guys. So I'm just gonna, cause right here where this green stops is where the dots stop, and then this is like the border. So I'm just gonna go to like the middle of the page, and that's gonna be this next one, and my ruler will guide me, and it's about 2. Yeah, it's about like 1.5 boxes big. So that's how we're starting this. This is where things get complicated. Okay. Where I hope everything stays even as best to my abilities. Heck, I know what fell that time. I need to grab something. Give me a hot minute. I am back. Sorry, guys. My 8x8 is huge, and sometimes I don't remember how big it is. This green is like low-key dying, and it's stressing me out because I need it to last for the rest of, I'm like halfway through my monthly setup, and I'm like, this green needs to last, but it's dying already. Okay. Now I gotta do things. I gotta think. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm still gonna go like 2 down and just line it up like 1, 2, and like take that dot down 2 dots down and just line it up that way on the diagonal. Okay. And bring it all the way to the center. You know what's weird about double-sided markers? And this just may have been something I noticed, or like the markers that I have. But like, sometimes like one side will die before the other side dies. Like for me, it's usually been like the brush or chisel side before the fine point side. And I don't know why. And it may just because I use like the brush side more. But in my head, I feel like the inks that it's drawing from are connected and would be like the same ink pot or whatever. But I guess not, because some sides die faster than others. I don't know. Have you guys noticed that? Do you see that if you use double-sided markers or dual tip? Ooh, I know. So, today is like the first day. It has become very fall outside. Sorry about that, guys. But it's been like most of the days so far this fall season and October have been like it's cold in the morning and at night, but it's warm like midday. It's really hot outside sometimes too. And I was like, no, I don't like it, because I'm like, it's supposed to be fall. Where's my cool weather? I want to wear sweaters all day without having to like worry about sweating in them. But but today it's like it rained last night and it has continued to be like rainy into this morning. And I'm so excited because like I woke up at 8 a.m. and it was like kind of dark outside because of like the rain and cool weather, and it was cloudy. But then like I went back to bed and I woke up again at like 11 and it was still like same cloudy weather, and it's been like that all day. And it makes me so excited because it's finally fall cozy weather time, and it makes me very happy. And I've been like, I enjoyed it, but it is like it got really cold today really fast. And it's because unfortunately where I live, snow is like on the way here. Like there are predictions within like either tomorrow or like within the next week it will snow. We'll have our first snowstorm. And usually how it works here is you have like there's the first snow in October. It doesn't stick. There's a second false winter. I miss summer. It's 70 degrees here today, and oh, you're so lucky. See, 50 to 70 is like the ideal fall temperature and the way it should be. But where I live, it's like summer and then suddenly it's cold. And so essentially is we will have our first snow in October. And this is a fake one. It's not winter yet. It's just our first snow. And then in November, we will have our fake winter, which lasts about a week where snow sticks and you're like, oh no, winter's here. But it's not yet. It's like at the beginning of the month. And then end of November, early December, that's when the snow and the ice comes and where I live becomes a frozen wasteland until April, essentially. So that's how the weather's going here. And by frozen wasteland, I mean it. Like, I will walk to class in the morning and it'll be -10 outside, and I'm like, cool. This is my winter. This is what I'm looking forward to. And stuff. So I'm so excited for that. Like, I love fall, but I also have to recognize that fall brings on winter. And I don't like, well, I like winter. It's a love-hate relationship. I like normal winters. I do not like the winters where I live because they last longer and it's like everything's icy and there's like a good foot of snow on the ground the whole time. So like, and it lasts forever. I like normal winters where it's like it snows, there's just like a couple inches for most of the time. It doesn't get too icy. Like every once in a while it does, but not too bad. That's what I like about winter, not the wasteland stuff. I also like, one thing I like about both fall and winter is I prefer the cold over the heat just because with the cold I feel like I can do something about it. While with the heat I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna suffer. But like with the cold, like I can get under like 20 different blankets. Like you can buy hundreds of blankets. But in the summer, you can buy your like one air conditioner or whatever you do to keep your house cool. But it's no guarantee that it's going to always do the job. So that first. And like if you're outside in the cold, like you can bundle up and stuff. But in the summer, there are only so many layers you can take off and stuff. So and then where I go to school, like I thought the adults were joking when they said they went to school uphill both ways, but golly gee, do I do, because my school's like on the hill and all the housing's like it's on like two different hills, and it's really weird and it's annoying. And so I do go up, when I go to school I go uphill like both ways. It's annoying, but Um, in this winter, it's like a weird annoyance because there's some days where it's like too freaking cold to be out there. But other days, like, I'll bundle up a lot and then I like take forever to walk to class because it's far away. And by the time I get to class, I'm like sweating and I'm cold all at once. And I don't know what to do. I don't know. Did you guys ever have to deal with that? Like when you, if you go to school, went to school, whatever, a winter issue? Let me know in the chat if you guys did. But I am though excited to we have hundreds of blankets in our house and I'm excited to use them all the time and not have to worry about overheating at night like I would in the summer. That's my least favorite part of summer. Like when you're in a place that will not cool down and you just overheat every night. Sorry. Yeah. The snow never melted. I do agree that the snow never melted. It didn't necessarily blow away, it just was always there. The cold and wind and snow, yeah. Cause when I first moved up here, I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then the first snow happened in October and I panicked. And so I told my parents, I'm like, only get me winter stuff for my birthday in November. And they did, and it was great. And I was able to warm up. But you really need 5 layers in the winter here, and you need 5 layers. You need good snow boots because otherwise your feet are gonna freeze, and they need to be able to go on ice because there's ice everywhere here. Even if you got rid of the snow on the ground, everything is underneath it is coated in ice. You will not remove this until April comes, and then May just get rid of it. That's when it's gone and summer happens. It's the worst. And one of the YouTubers I watch, it is Good Times with Scar from Hermitcraft. He's in Alaska, and he's very open that he's in Alaska and stuff. And he's talking about how he also has to deal with it because he's in Alaska. He's really up there. He's really where it's cold. Always cold places. And he was talking in his recent YouTube video, and I thought it was crazy because he's yeah, it's there's a bunch of forest fires and we had to evacuate for it, but then it also snowed the same day. And I'm like, what? My dude's living a crazy life. It's wild. I hope he's okay. Guys, we're getting there. We're getting near the center. I'm very excited. I'm tired. Low-key. From holding the ruler. Which is weird that my ruler arm is getting tired and not my marker using arm. But, oh golly gee, I missed this spot. That may be because this arm is used to writing and journaling so much. Okay, I will say, even though this marker, this dark green is kind of dying, I do like when, like, if I've finished a spread or, like, a monthly theme or whatever, where, like, my palette's like, okay, like, I've, like, used up a good couple markers or I've used up a washi tape, like, perfectly. I kind of like it when that happens just because I'm like, ah, yes, you have fulfilled your purpose perfectly. You're done. I don't know, it's weird. It's satisfying in my mind. Like, if this green dies, I just hope it dies, like, once I'm done with this spread and theme completely. Or, like, if because my main way of, like, marking that I am done with something on my to-do list or on my homework list, or I've completed a habit in my bullet journal, is by, like, highlighting it. Like, that is the thing. Because then the only things on my to-do list that need to be done are the stuff in the white space. And the things that don't need to be done are colored in. So they blend in with the rest of the spread. That's just a visual thing I do with my journal and stuff. Here, I want to show you guys an example of that, because... Okay, here's a quality example. This brain dump section. All the white stuff are stuff I didn't complete that week. But all the stuff that are colored in, I did complete. And so, like, I know my brain's just like, just focus on the white stuff. Focus on the white space and stuff. So that's something I like doing. And it really helps me visually see what needs to be done and what doesn't. Because, like, the typical checklist format in my mind, like, it's hard for me to see because I have to go see, like, oh, what did I cross out? What has a check mark next to it? And stuff. So it's like my brain, like, takes a little bit longer to figure out what's done and what isn't, compared to when I, like, color it in. And it's like, okay, just look for the white space. So that's a method I use. Guys, we're in the final little bit. I'm so excited. And it looks really cool. Trippy. Okay. And I don't really need to turn the page as much. And that, my friends, is the only time my left hand is useful. Is when I need to, like, do the ruler thing. That's the only time I will, like, use my left hand to draw a line, is when I have a ruler as well. awesome focal point design. Oh, thank you. Hello, and how are you? I am doing good. Hello, Heavenly Gifted today. Today in my bullet journal, so this is like my quilt pattern theme that I am going to be doing for the month of November. And we're working on my monthly challenge spread, which is going to be NANOWRIMO. So I'm very excited. And I just want to make this background and then we'll do the thing. Oh, thank you for sharing my link. I really appreciate it. I love it. Thank you. But okay. Ooh, so as we're getting to kind of the end of this, that goes there. We're gonna go like this. So now that we're at the middle, and we got this nice little square here, I'm gonna color in one side the dark green, and the other side will be my light green. Cool. Okay, I still gotta do the corners, but that is it so far. So, gonna quickly fill in these corners so they all look good. Okay. Because I wanted to save the corners for last so I could make sure my design worked out. Thank you, Joe Pet, for the heart. I appreciate it. Okay. We're almost there, guys. Soon we will be able to add the rest of the details to the spread. That's the main thing I've been doing for my November theme as a whole, and especially with this spread, is I want to create big, beautiful patterns in the background, and then using like either sticky notes or stickers that have like that are like boxy and stuff that I can write stuff in to give it that to put like the spread and information I need for this spread on. So that's how I've been doing it. Okay. Corner 1 done. Next corner. Okay, what you guys don't see on camera is that I have like, since this is an 8x8 notebook, it's like 16 inches long in total when it's laid out flat. So like what you guys see under the camera is just this little portion, but then like the rest of it is like gutting me in the stomach so I can draw this. Because that's what you gotta do for art. You gotta like hold what you're drawing on or working on in like weird positions so you can get it just right. And sometimes they're uncomfortable positions. Welcome back, Heavenly Gifted. We're just finishing up the corners. And then we can start with the rest of the spread. Okay. What am I doing? This. This color. This one. I shared your link in the stationery brewer team. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay. Okay. So, we're not done with the spread. I want to make sure you guys can see it real well. So we're going to go like this. Oh, I love the way it looks. It looks magical. It messes with my head a little bit. Oh, I love it. It's like a cool swirl design. So, yes. Oh, I love it. So, back to this mode. Now for the rest of today's spread. So, I have these stickers that I got from the Happy Planner stationery shop. Not Happy Planner stationery shop. Happy Planner sticker store stuff. And they're from the Colorful Boxes sticker pack. And essentially is I'm going to put down 30 boxes because there are 30 days in November, right? Right? Am I thinking properly? Yes, there are 30 days in November. So I'm going to put down 30 boxes, all at wonderful angles, mix and match the black and gold, and then each of these boxes will act as my word counter type thingy for NaNoWRIMO, since you're supposed to kind of write a certain amount of words each day for this challenge. So these will kind of act as a word counter and tracker of where I am in this challenge. So let's do this. We're just going to start placing 15 stickers on this side, 15 on this side. Oh wait, before we, yeah, okay. I love this spread so much. And I'm going to kind of keep them in this like either vertical or horizontal and not diagonal, because since the background is diagonal, this kind of, it makes it look cool. So I'm going to go actually like that. And then if I place them right, it may accent like this lovely line like that one's doing. So 6, we'll do one more right there. So 7 in black and 7 in gold on here, or 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So we got these boxes to use and write in, and you could totally use this design for like a weekly spread if you had like bigger boxes, and you could use each big box as a kind of day of the week and stuff. So I like the way that looks. Okay, let's do the other side. Six. 7. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Cool. So we got all those placed. I realized my notebook's upside down. Haha. Okay. And then I just need to pull something up real quick. I'm going to pull up like NaNoWRIMO calendar so I can write out where I'm going to write the day, where I want to be word count wise, and then I'll have a spot to write where I am word count wise for this challenge. Okay. Okay. I have my little calendar. We're going to start over here. And we're going to use this burgundy Sharpie to kind of write all this stuff. So November starts on a Tuesday, right? Yes. Oh, this looks so good. I really like the way it looks like overall. It looks very mind-boggling in my mind. first 15 days. I'm going to switch colors for the word count I want to be at, just so that you can tell the difference between it and the day that I'm on. And so for this part, I am using the Rustic Brown Archer and Olive Acrylograph from the Amanda Rachel Lee collection, by the way. I'm just getting my pen a little started. Okay. I'm just going to put the number at the bottom. Come here, picture. Excuse you. And I promise I'm usually like way more interesting on streams and more talkative. I just don't want to mess up the numbers, so I'm trying to focus really hard. There we go. So, this is my November writing challenge. My goal is to write write or edit 50,000 words in the month of November. This will be my tracker. I hope you guys like it. I'm very proud of how it turned out. It makes me very happy. So, now, we're going to quickly transition here. I've noticed there's some new people here to stream, and usually what I do is stream is after I've finished the initial journaling spread, we are going to move into a writing prompt and like giving time to kind of journal personally and either write about yourself or like what's going on in your life and that type of thing. So first off, let me grab the link to all the journaling prompts we have ever done throughout stream. And then what we will do is I'll put that in the chat for you guys. So those are all the journaling prompts we've done on stream before. But for today's stream, I'm going to pick from this really cute freaking jar we made last stream. It is our writing prompt jar. I'm going to pick out a prompt for us to use for today's. I'm very excited. I'm going to grab this bad boy right here. And then essentially, I'll be writing in my journal. I'm going to be using these kind of orange colored stickers from the Happy Planner Fall Pack. I'm using scissors and an orange washi tape, and then a basic black pen. And then let us pull out today's prompt, which is, and I'll put that in the chat. Now, today's prompt is more of a personal question, kind of getting to know yourself and that type of thing. So, what is your greatest achievement? And essentially, for those of you new here, I'm just going to turn off my sound. I'm not going to talk for like the next 10 minutes, and I'll just show you guys how I'm journaling. I encourage you guys to journal along in any way that you want. You can write, you can draw, you can like do a weird picture thingy. However, my goal is just to encourage journaling in all its forms, and especially kind of creating a memory of or like a history of your life and what's going on in it through journaling. So that is why I do this little session at the end. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get journaling. You guys know the prompts. Get to it. I'm done journaling. If you guys are still journaling, keep going at it. I'm glad you enjoyed the tunes while we journaled. I'm going to quickly talk about what I journaled, and then I will wrap up stream and stuff. So, the prompt was, what is your greatest achievement? So, the first one that I kind of talked about was when I set a boundary with someone in my life, and I kind of kept up with that boundary and stuff. So that was like my greatest achievement as of this moment, was being able to set a boundary and keep up with it and like make it strong. And then down here I kind of listed a couple other small achievements that are pretty great in my life. One of them is getting married to my husband. That's an achievement of mine. I'm in the process of getting a story published, and I'm getting paid for it, so that's another achievement. I also wrote about kind of putting myself out there with streaming and on my Instagram and stuff, and then also kind of being a successful adult so far. So those are my achievements, and then I kind of went with this lovely orange vibe for my setup. So that is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys liked it. I had so much fun. I especially loved our NaNoWRIMO spread and stuff. If you guys want to, there'll be the replay on here, and I will also be putting it on my YouTube channel, which should be linked in my bio on here as well. So you guys can go check out the whole stream over there as well. And then I'll be posting pictures and stuff about what we did on stream on Instagram. And if you want more bullet journaling content, head over to my Instagram, because I got plenty. I got daily bullet journaling stuff. So I hope you guys liked today's stream. I know I did. Next Saturday at 2 p.m. usual time, we will be working on our reading journal setup. So I will see you guys next week. Bye!